Good evening, Facebook Live. Apostle Terrence Lyons of Ecclesia Ministries here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Coming to you again on tonight. Bringing you tonight's Bible study. We pray that everything has been going well for you, that you had a good week. And things have been on point for you. Get a couple of things straight here and we'll be ready to rock and roll. So, sure everyone has been noticing of different things that have been transpiring for the kingdom and everything else. Good evening there, sis. Pray that, again, everybody's been staying out of the heat and all of that fun stuff, because we got us a good one tonight, and we're definitely going to make sure that I'm crystal clear with it, because I know the question itself has probably got you thinking, what in the world is Apostle doing tonight? What in the world's going on up in here? Good evening there, Prophetess Denisha. So our question for tonight is, are your results cursing you out? Are your results cursing you out? And we're getting ready to start a new part of the series on Saturday, understanding curses and looking at that part. And like, wait a minute, are we still doing the time of your life? Yep. And in order for you to have the time of your life, you're going to have to know how to overcome curses that might have been slipping in on you and cursing you out in your results, because some of you have probably been frustrated about your outcomes. They haven't been exactly what you've wanted. They haven't been as fulfilling as you feel that they should have. And now that there's been that kind of thing that you haven't gotten the results that you were wanting, you're like, well, wait a minute, I thought I was doing everything right. Good evening now, my brother, Michael. Yeah, you thought I was doing everything right, and your results just sitting there cussing you out. They ain't what you was expecting, they ain't what you was wanting, and you're like, man, what else I need to do? What else I need to do to get a break? But I want you to understand something about this season that we're in, and understanding how things actually work. Before I get rolling into our message for tonight and our scriptures for tonight, I want to touch base on something important out of the book of Esther, chapter 8, verses 9 and 10, because I want you to see something to help you kind of realize where you're at this specific season. So in the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 9 and 10, it says, then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, which is the month we're in, on the 23rd day thereof. Watch this. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants and deputies and rulers of the provinces, which were from India unto Ethiopia, 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. And he wrote in King Ahasuerus' name, and sealed it with the king's rings, and sent letters by post on horseback and riders, and on mules, camels, and young dromedaries. So the reason that I wanted you to see that, good evening there, Apostle Taffany, and good evening there, Apostle Laura, good evening there, Brother Clarence and Sister Linda. So I wanted you to see these specific things because of this right here. The 23rd day of the 3rd month was actually yesterday. And the reason that I want you to understand this and kind of get an understanding of why this is so important. So if you felt the need to try to strategize some stuff yesterday, look at some things a lot closer, pay close attention, dig deeper, if all of that hit you yesterday, it was just lining up with this specific time of the season. So I want you to understand that if you were doing that, that was just you coming into complete alignment with what God had in place for you to do at that specific time and season. Now, there's still going to be some things that are going to come forth out of this month as we get prepared to go into the fourth month on next week. But I just wanted you to understand this right here before I got into tonight, because it's going to help to answer the question, are your results cussing you out? See, because what has to happen is you've got to realize that some of your outcomes require for you to have a different mindset before you can get what God's actually got set for you. Before you can get what God actually has got set for you, it's going to require for you to have a different mindset about the outcome. Okay? The reason that I want you to get this, and the reason that I want you to understand this and why this is so important right now is because our first scripture that we want to start out with is Galatians chapter 3, verses 10 through 14 to go into our study. Like I said, I just wanted to show you that in Esther. It's kind of tied, but it's not really tied into what we're going to be looking at. But I wanted you to see that first, because what I'm going to show you here in Galatians chapter 3, verses 10 through 14, is where it says this. Galatians chapter 3, verse 10 through 14, says this right here. It says, for as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. As many as are under the law are under the curse. So notice that, and I'm going to drop a bomb on you here in just a minute. Drop a bomb on you here in just a minute, and it'll make sense to you. So I want you to see this. It says, as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse, for it is written, cursed is everyone that continueth not in all the things which are written in the book of the law to do them. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God. It is evident, watch this, for the just shall live by faith. By faith, not by works now. That's why it said, cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things which are written. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. So remember the question, are your results cursing you out? Are you not getting what you desire for your results to be? Are you in a place that you are wanting one thing to be your outcome, but it is not coming out like that? So we're going to help you fix that. That's what we're going to focus on. So watch this. If you look in verse 12, it says, and the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them. Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law. Woo! I'm going to try to do right tonight. Good evening there, Miss Lacquinette. Good to see you. I'm going to try to do right tonight. So I need for y'all to pay attention to this. Christ hath redeemed us from the law. So what that's saying is we do not have to settle for our results cursing us out. You don't have to settle for your results to keep cussing you out. You don't have to settle for that. But if they are cursing you out, and I'm going to clarify that here in just a minute, if your results are cursing you out, if you're not getting the results, because the scripture tells us clearly In Psalm 37:4, it says, delight thyself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. If you're not getting the results, if you're not getting the outcomes that you truly desire, then you need to make sure, one, that you are delighting yourself in the Lord, and then number two, that you are completely delighting yourself in the Lord, and that's going to be the difference that I'll show you, because that's the only way that your results are cursing you out, since Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law. So watch this. Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Jesus Christ, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. All right, let's dig in. So my first point that I want you to get tonight is that if your belief about your outcome is based on your work, then your results are cussing you out. You say, whoa, hold on, hold on. Wait a minute, what are we talking about? Good evening, my man, Leo. What are we talking about? What do you mean? If my belief about my outcome is based on my work, then I'm cursed? My results are cussing me out? See, because I want you to see something else before I dig a little deeper here. I want you to go to Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 through 10. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 through 10 is where it says this. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 through 10. He says, for by grace you are saved, watch this, through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is of the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus, unto good works, which God hath before ordained that we should walk in them. So watch this. So what that's saying is he before ordained our outcome before we started doing anything. So if I'm thinking that it's by my hard work, by the work of my hands, by what I'm doing, that I'm getting my outcome, then my results gonna keep cussing me out. Because if your belief about your outcome is based on your works, then your results gonna keep cussing you out. That's why they keep coming up short, because you think it's you doing it. And as long as you have in your head that you're getting these results by the work of your hands, or by you and yourself, and you thinking you all that in a bag of chips, he's saying, okay, I can't let you get the fullness of what I really want you to have, because you think it's you. And since you're thinking it's you, you're going to keep coming up a little shout. Yeah, little shout. S-H-A-W-T. Little shout. You're going to keep coming up a little shout, because in your head, you're thinking this is coming from the work of your hands. And he's saying, no. I will not give my glory to another. I will not give my glory to another. So if you keep thinking that your outcome and your results are coming from the work of your hands, no. I can't allow you to keep thinking that, so I'm going to let your results not be fulfilling enough to you. Now, I ain't picking on nobody, because I've been there. I've been there, because I want you to get this. I want you to understand something, because I'm going to show you some stuff tonight that's probably going to mess with your head a little bit, because of what we've been overlooking about curses, and how us overlooking curses has been actually keeping us from having the best of our lives. So I want to make sure that you see these things. So I want you to go to Numbers chapter 13, verses 17 through 23. It's That's one of the passages that I had you to look at, for our reading this week. Numbers chapter 13, verses 17 through 23, says this. Numbers chapter 13, verses 17 through 23, says this. Says, and Moses, watch this, sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, get you up this way southward, go up into the mountain, and see the land, what it is, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many, and what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities they be that they dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds, and what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not, and be ye of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin unto Rehob, and watch this, as men come to Hamath. Now watch these next two verses, because I want you to see this. It says, and they ascended by the south, came unto Hebron, where Ahiman, Shishai, Talmai, children of Anak. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. And they came in unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. So here's what I want you to see. What would it have been like if they'd have come back trying to talk about we grew these grapes? Yeah, no, that's crazy. They were already done. They were already waiting on them. That is what you have to see about your life. There are things that God's wanting you to just walk out. You just got to be in the right place. The work is already done. You just have to position yourself. Once you position yourself and you get to where He's got designed for you to get to, then your results won't be cussing you out no more. But this is what I need you to get about this second point. See, how you handle the platform that you've been given determines whether your results are going to curse you out or not. See, a lot of y'all haven't gotten what you truly are supposed to have is because how you handled your platform cursed you out of your results. It cursed you out from really receiving what you were supposed to have, because your thoughts while you had the platform was that this is me doing this. I got to do this right. I got to make sure I handle this the right way. I got to make sure that I do this perfectly. I got to make it. Stop. Just stop. Hit time out, because what you have to understand is all of your steps. See, when the word tells us stuff like the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, when he's telling us every place that the sole of your foot tread, I have given it to you. When He sent them to go spy this out, see, this is why they got in so much trouble. They saw the good that was there of what they had been promised. And see, that's what's done happen with some of you. God's promised it to you. He spoke it to you. You heard it. You saw it in a dream. You saw it in a vision. You had all of that. But then when it came time to walk it out, you started getting afraid of the conditions. You started getting afraid of how it might look. You started getting afraid of those things, and it's at that point what you started to do with the platform is what began to cause you to get cursed out of your outcome. So this is what the children of Israel done. This is what 10 of those spies done after they got back. And then Moses asked them for a report of, hey, so what's up with the land? Can we take it or not? So they start talking about all of the good that's there. They start talking about it flowing with milk and honey. They start talking about all of those things, but then they say, but there's some giants over there. And now That's when their results started cursing them out. See, this is what you've got to keep from happening in your outcomes. See, the gas prices went up, and then all of a sudden you say, well, I got to stay home now. You just let your results curse you out. Well, I see this inflation going up, and now I'm not going to buy the good things that I normally buy. You just let your results curse you out. I love you, and I know this is difficult. Are you telling us not to save? Are you telling us not to do? I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm trying to get you to understand that your mindset about your outcomes is what's cursing you out of some of the good that God wants you to have. Because you're letting conditions you're letting the conditions begin to curse you out. You're letting the conditions begin to cause you to start thinking of, well, this ain't going to turn out as good because... No. Stop that. Stop it. Stop thinking that way. Because that's what I got to show you about this tonight. This is why it's so important. If you look at verse 22, watch this. Because in verse 22, it says, they ascended by the south, came unto Hebron, and where Ahiman, Sheshai, Talmai, the children of Anak were. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. 7 years. So this is what I want you to understand. Again, when I showed you that in Ephesians, when I showed you that in Galatians, I was trying to show you that everything that is set for you in your life was before ordained. Watch this. It's waiting on you to get there. See, because I'm walking in something right now that it was just waiting on me to get there. That's it. And as I'm walking that out, it's mind blowing because it's like all this time. All this time. And it could have been like this. Now, true enough, I had to go through some development. Some other people had to go through some development. I get all of that. But the key is we've got to get to a place to where, watch this, all you got to do is know that it is set for you to walk out, not work out. Oh, because see, some folk done messed up and they like, I got to work out my soul salvation. All that's meaning is for you to walk out in rest and reassurance that all you're required to do is take the steps that you have been given to take. It's not about your work. It's about what's been waiting on you. I want y'all to type that in for me. It's waiting on me. Whatever your it is, it's waiting on you. If you've been waiting on better results, it's waiting on you. You've been waiting on a better, it's waiting on you. See, because that's what's happening. God's like, I'm wanting to give this to you, not make you work for it. Because in your head, you're thinking, I got to work for this in order to have this. And he said, no. It's waiting on you. I had it before ordained. I had everything in place. It's waiting on you. Because I promise you, when you find it, it's just going to flow like you have never experienced before. When you find what's waiting on you, that relationship that's been waiting on you, when you find it, it's just going to flow. That vehicle that you can't, man, it's too high, I don't want to spend it. It's waiting on you. That house, that it's waiting on you. You say, well, this is a bad time to buy. I promise you, just hear me out. There are things that God is wanting to put in your hands because he's trying to do it, watch this, under conditions that will prove you didn't have nothing to do with this. See, because what he's going to show you is I had this set up in such a way that every single thing that's going to transpire, because the last week that has covered 6 to 7 months. You're like, Pastor, what you talking about? The last week that's covered 6 to 7 months, because that's literally how it's almost felt like. Because truly that whole thing of a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. When you finally walk into what's been waiting on you, that's literally what it's going to feel like, because it's going to speed everything up so fast that it's going to have you wondering, wait a minute, hold on, time out, wait a minute, wait a minute, whoa, hold on. See, because watch this. When you get to where what he's had waiting on you, and you actually get to it, it's going to flow so fast that you ain't even going to have time to put on brakes. I promise you, you're not going to have time to put on brakes. It will be at such a fast pace. You will not have time to put on brakes. You say, what, Apostle, what you talking about? I promise you, you're not going to have time to put on brakes. Just remember that I've told you this beforehand. I'm not telling you about something that I've heard. I'm telling you about what I know for a fact. You will not have time to put on brakes once it's flowing in the place that you belong, because it's been waiting on you. Here's why I need you to get this, because this is why this is crucial. This is why it's finna go. This is why it's finna get heavy and go deep. Okay, I want you to go to Revelation 21 verses 1 through 8. Revelation 21 verses 1 through 8. Because what happens here in Revelation 21, I'm about to give you one of the secrets to make sure that your results don't curse you out. Revelation chapter 21. Watch this. Verses 1 through 8 says this. It says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Now, let me take a drink. Take a drink.